Alright, looks like I'm live, so I'm just gonna wait a couple minutes for people who are just seeing the video now to drop by and then do a last audio check, and we can get started, because this is gonna take a really long time. Oh yeah, that Twitch is really breaking. It's okay, there we go. Saying 0 viewers when I know there's at least one bot account around somewhere. But let's see, I'm gonna edit the video title to say live. Alright, I'm gonna close out a few browser windows. That should make things go a little faster, and hopefully let Twitch, like, actually show me my viewer list, because it's not doing that right now. Not sure if my own mic audio is even working correctly, but we'll fix that problem when we get there. Also, is the audio from my commentary sounding correctly? 'Cause I'm not sure if it is, but if no one says anything, in 2 minutes I'm going to start the actual fight. Okay, that should make the commentary sound at least a little bit better, and 1 more minute until we go. Alright. First off, like I said in the announcement video, this thing has over 100 million HP, when if you compare it to a regular enemy Milosaur is lucky to have 1 million. And, let's see, Fernando has 4 million, that's almost nothing. Even Lucille, the second strongest Milosaur in the game, only has 4.5 million. So, he's a big boy. And I don't just mean in terms of HP, he's also by far one of the largest Milosaurs. So, things are going to be pretty interesting. And, is it 405? It's 405, so just get started, I guess. With luck, I'll be able to maintain this overdrive for 2 hours and be able to completely destroy him. I'm actually switched out a couple arts compared to last time. Oh, wait, I'm taking damage. That's not good. My aura wore off already. Let's see. I swapped out Starlight Duster for Galactic Cataclysm. Pop Overdrive again there. Alright, yeah, I don't really have much to say. We're just gonna be sitting here for a couple hours until this guy dies. And, whoop, that's not good. Got launched by running into him. Starts hitting me now, I might be screwed. Well, actually I'll just Astrolibium now, just in case. I'm running secondary accelerator, so my secondary cooldowns are pretty good. I don't know why I keep getting hit here. My aura must really not be lasting very long. I almost ran out of overdrive there. It's really bad. But overdrive count is almost 99, which is really good. I'm actually gonna overdrive on top of the overdrive just to keep stuff going there. Did not mean to Essence Exchange. But if I Astrolibium, I should be fine. As you can see, we've barely made a dent in his HP so far, so, you know, that's bad. It's basically going to be me alternating between Astrolibium, all the Starfall arts, and that's going to be the entire fight until he dies. I think the... oh, he did eject Parasite for the first time. Okay. Didn't expect that so quickly, actually. But... let's see. There, I'll take the bonus TV. Every now and then, he'll eject a Parasite Jared, which changes the element of some of his attacks, basically. It's regular level 60 enemy, so nothing too dangerous, but it's just another thing you have to watch out for. And yeah, if you're not reflecting everything like I am, it's a bit of a big problem. Luck. Every time I use Infuriate, it's basically for a TP. The Furious Blast is only actually for building up the overdrive counter as high as possible. Because once I hit 99, or well, max is 99, I don't really need anything besides my main melee arts, especially because I think I have a skill that boosts... Actually, once I win, we'll see what skills I'm using, because I somewhat forget myself. I'm also getting tons of overdrive bonuses and like bonus EXP and stuff that literally doesn't matter at all since I'm already level 60 and I don't have party members with me. But whatever, that's kind of beside the point. And yeah, Galactic Cataclysm, it's basically Monado Buster. I honestly think Starlight Duster is overall better in terms of damage, but we're going to ignore that part. Infuriate to stall while my other stuff is charged up a bit. I got slow arts if I did something. Is he kidding me? Or maybe he has a spike. I don't know. I'm not 100% paying attention. This is basically Xenoblade hack and slash mode. And as long as I use Astrolibium once every 10 seconds, I will never lose my Reflect, never lose Overdrive. Although, actually going to Essence Exchange, do that, do that, do that. He's ejecting another Parasite. This is going to happen a lot more than it would if I were fighting him with like a better build, because I'm not doing my damage very quickly here, as you can very clearly see. Even, yeah, Galactic Cataclysm is hitting less than almost. Yeah, it's only hitting a couple times more than hits of Starfall Rondo. Although Duster isn't actually doing that much, so maybe I should have swapped that out for. Or no, Blossom isn't doing much. I should have swapped that out for Duster, maybe. I don't know. good to see a meaningful dent being made after only 5 minutes of fighting him, though. So I was worried we wouldn't be making even this much progress before. I mean, I could sort of cheat it just by hopping in the Ares 90 and just Agassara cannoning it once. Because that could take out maybe a million or two, which is a couple percent. And a couple percent is pretty good when you're fighting something this big, this beefy. I'm actually not even 100% sure I'll be able to break an appendage by the time he's dead, which is unfortunate, but not really much can be done about it. Let's do that, extend overdrive. That. This entire fight is just, how good are you at maintaining your infinite overdrive build? Because if you're not, you die. Again, there are other ways to do this, including ways that, like, I'm pretty sure you can kill him in under 10 seconds or so. But I'm lucky to do 0.1% of his HP per hit, which is insane, to say the least. Because 100 million, I'm doing like maybe 75,000 per hit, or per yeah, 75,000 to 100,000. Rondo does the most, because yeah, Duster doesn't hit 100,000, which is really unfortunate. I should have been, or Cataclysm. Wow, I'm getting my art names wrong. Probably should have gone with Starlight Duster instead of Galactic Cataclysm. Check another Parasite. Overdrive on top of my overdrive. Yeah, it probably will go from day to night twice for me as well. Just because my estimate for this is 1.5 hours to 2 hours. So, just in terms of the fact that a day is 24 minutes, it probably will take 2 in-game days to win. But... oh, wow, I just realized I wasn't listening to the game audio very much. But, Uncontrollable's playing, not We're Fleegan, which is good because, I do like Uncontrollable's my favorite battle theme in the series, so I'm okay that we're getting this one instead of the Overdrive theme. It's just, I think only a couple times in this entire playthrough since I started the Let's Play have I activated Overdrive at the beginning of a fight and actually had Where Fleegan start. Usually just hiccuped up and went back to Uncontrollable every time. Or whatever the regular battle theme was. XC2 is already on the Switch. I'm assuming you mean X2, which is also something that, yes, I do want on the Switch. The way I see it is, I would almost prefer, instead of them making an entirely separate game, just do like a deluxe version of X that includes a bunch of extra content and stuff, like another couple continents, something like that, and finishes the story and stuff, maybe increases the level cap to 99. Just makes one game of a self-contained story as opposed to throwing in a sequel for extra money stuff, which, you know, they probably will do because extra money stuff. I might actually make a video on that, like why an enhanced port would actually be better than a sequel in terms of Switch stuff, especially because they use the same engine for 2 as they did for X, so they could just port the assets from X, maybe like increase the polygon count a little bit or something because of the Switch being more powerful than the Wii U, and do stuff that way. And wow, we have, I want to say we're like maybe a 12th, 15th of the way there within the first 10 minutes. So I think my prediction is fairly accurate. Let's see. Got another Parasite. I haven't even been paying attention to what element his attacks have been changing into. Just because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all to me. Whatever element he uses it's not going to bother me, assuming I remember to hit my arts. And the big problem is that the launch can screw me over just because it makes me unable to input arts. And if that happens right next to the time overdrive runs out or the aura runs out, I could be screwed. So that's actually more dangerous than his damaging attacks and stuff, which is a little counterintuitive, but it is what it is. And the other problem with the Wii U not working is if you do already own the game, I'm not going to get pissed for trying to emulate it, but Wii U is still surprisingly hard to emulate. Like, it's only now getting, I think, proper textures and not broken frame rates, at least for X. I think Breath of the Wild was someone got running relatively well the instant it came out. Let's see. I don't really know what to say at this point. It's just gotten into a good enough rhythm where I think I can just button mash my way through and relatively okay. Let's see. I'm immune to something. Wonder what that was. Okay, I didn't know. I knew that it was getting better. I didn't know if it was like good. I knew it had at least surpassed the way the original game looked, or the way it looked on Wii U, but that's, granted, not too hard to do with a PC. Honestly, that's just another reason I want to see this on Switch, just more draw distance. Like, that might allow you to update the, or increase the flight height cap for Skells so you could like fly higher, which would be really cool because flying high is cool to look at, but so little of the map is actually loaded in at a given time that it still looks like a small world, even though it is pretty big, if you know what I mean. Also, probably should have had my stream notifications window open in some way because I heard the notification for follow. Can't look at it right now because I'm playing the game and I have my chat open, so I'm gonna do this and just move that in a different window because I assume I'm gonna be getting a few other follows at least. Alright, thank you, the almighty D123 for the follow. There we go. Also, my headphones are screwy. I'm only hearing stuff in the right ear, so that should fix that. Okay. Hopefully this didn't screw me. I'm going to just use my aura now regardless of what I was doing beforehand. Jared. Okay. Yeah, you're going to be dead, basically, one Starfall Blade. Okay. Think we're back in the swing of things now. Just pop another overdrive on. We should be good. Oh, I didn't actually read the initial comment. Bloom brightness are like broken. I thought the biggest problem with emulating it was frame rate, but I guess visually it's busted. Yeah, I used to use Ether Blossom. That was like my original Infinite Overdrive build. I actually ended up making a pseudo infinite, like not really unlimited because I didn't have access to all the good augments and stuff, but just a prolonged overdrive Ghostwalkery longsword build to just beat the final boss the first time. I did it because I was really bad at the game at that point, but I haven't been like, once 2 started coming out, even though I was still Let's Playing this game, I hadn't been paying too much attention to the progression of the emulation for X. Like, the last thing I saw was that people were still having frame rate issues, but I guess progress is being made, so that's good. Wonder if someone will eventually do upgraded texture pack like they did for the original game. Yeah, I think I'm streaming in 60 FPS just because I have a decent enough internet connection at school where I am right now, and Splatoon is 60, so just because I recorded the entire Let's Play in 1080 60, even though it really should have just been 720 30, so full Let's Play, just the raw video files are like 600 gigabytes, and then I also have the finished video files saved for like another 400 or so, so the majority of a 2 terabyte hard drive is the XCX play. See, that's actually a hard question to answer. There are versions of the current build that I'm using that are better than the current build that I'm using, because I'm using a very unoptimized version. Like, the actual weapons and gear I have aren't the greatest. It's just something that you can use to do Omni Reflect Infinite Overdrive. Like, I could make a better version of this build if I ground up for weapons and stuff that would be able to completely out DPS this with no trouble. I'm just using the one I used before because I thought it was funny how it took me 2 hours to win this fight, so I'm just doing that again because I showed off the Telethia thing. Just doing this too. Obviously, I'd much rather stream this than record it because I can have more of a stream of consciousness than actually have to stay on topic, and having a chat to talk to makes pressing the same buttons in roughly the same order for 2 hours a lot easier to do. I actually think the first time I did this, it was on gamepad alone too, like not with TV. I distinctly remember someone having to use the TV while I was doing this fight, then like having to swap to gamepad in the middle of the fight and praying I didn't drop my overdrive in between then, because that would kill me. See, I could have hired other people. I could have done scouts easily. I just didn't, because it's less... yes, it's faster. Yes, it's better for farming or everything. It's just... this is more fun for me. Like, in a somewhat masochistic way, I am enjoying myself. We're approaching a quarter. I'd say we're maybe a fifth of the way there. Honestly, I just wanted to see if I could still do it. Like, after it took me like a couple, not really a couple hours, like over an hour, remembering how my Ares 90 build for killing Telethia worked, I wanted to try out to see if I actually had this one down pat still. Honestly, I don't think I even have the Ether Blossom build, like the gear for it anymore. Like when I was looking through gear earlier just to make sure I didn't have, I was using the most powerful stuff. I didn't see any receding rust in there, so I don't know what I was doing. And like I never even did the BP grinding DLC mission more than a couple times. So my arts and skills that I'm using now aren't even maxed out. Actually, I don't even remember which ones I'm using. I think it's the ones where you gain TP for melee combos and melee arts when you have an aura active, because I am getting TP without auto attacking right now. But yeah, I think I threw it out, but the paper I used for the augments I had to build for my Ares 90 to kill Telethia, it was like an entire sheet full of like one material on each line, and I needed like 200 of a good chunk of them. I know there are more efficient ways to do it. I just like wanted to do it the Ares 90 just because. If you live outside of Japan, there is no DLC because everything was built into the game. But Alexa, Bose, Yelv, and HB, all their affinity missions and all that stuff related to them, that was DLC, but it's the base game for everyone else, as well as a couple post-game extra online support missions, or support missions that you can access from the online terminal. They're not actually online. That you could basically use to quick grind EXP, class EXP, BP, and Affinity, I think, just to make endgame a little easier. So I think it would have been about 15 to 20 US dollars, or like stuff that was priced similarly in yen was priced that in US dollars, but I guess to make up for the fact that they kind of lied about them doing the translation at the same time as the game being in development, they just did it for free, because like they were very adamant of the fact that it would have a worldwide release. They were working on the translation and the dub and all that stuff while the game was being developed. They said the same thing about X, but it took 8 months more for it to come out for some reason. I don't know, they kind of dropped the ball there. Maybe there was just more stuff to translate. I know the script was rewritten pretty close to the end, so that could have been it, but that's a thing that I don't think there's ever been any official statement on. We'd have to probably ask some localized. Well, it was also a different division of Nintendo for it too. Honestly, the way I could see them balancing the end game to make it less grindy is just add more stuff after you finish the story. So you have, like, quote-unquote mainline quests and stuff where you'll be getting, like, naturally getting more powerful stuff and have more VP and things like that. So you could do builds like this while actually accomplishing things more. The problem is, a lot of the big endgame quests have stuff locked off behind powerful boss fights that you would need to grind for. Having actual story content that lets you get to that stuff without grinding. Now, I couldn't see them adding Poppy, but I'm just gonna pause a little bit to zoom out a little bit so I can see the viewer count, and I think someone pinged me on Discord. Okay, never mind. I thought it was something about the stream. Okay. Let's see. What was I talking? Oh, yeah. I couldn't see them adding Poppy, but I'm sure that they'd add Easter eggs from 2 into it if they ported it. I could see a Giga Rosa Skell. Like, that's totally something they'd do. I'm not sure what model they'd base it off of, but they could definitely make her a Skell, since, like, we already know exactly how she operates as a mech. Also, thank you for the follow. I'm not sure how that would be pronounced, Matt-he or Mathy656, but thank you all the same. I'm glad no one's offended by me butchering the pronunciation of their username yet. I've got several people who are like, yeah, I only follow just to hear you say it, which I'm totally okay with. Let's see. What are we looking at? Can I call that a quarter of the way there, or am I just wishful thinking here? Here comes another. Thank you, Replica Rabbit, for the follow as well. That's a bad launch. I'm going to do that. There we go. Okay. Wasting third art on this guy. Oh well. Maybe it was the Jared that had the slow arts counter spike, not Gradivus himself. I'm not sure. I just looked up. Oh, he poops out Jareds every now and then. Didn't look up, like, how the Jareds themselves worked. Yeah, that's another thing they could do. Just reduce the cost material-wise for augments. That alone would make the entire endgame several times better. Like, if instead of 32, it was like 10. And, like, I know the lowest level already needs 1, but why grow exponentially? You could just go, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that alone would be... It would exponentially decrease the amount of time it would take to grind stuff up. Like, I could have probably done the Ares build in a day or 2 as opposed to the, like, weeks it actually took. I think I might... I didn't show it off particularly well in the video, but depending on how long this takes me, I might just, as an extra featurette... Well, I'm definitely going to show off the ground build I was using at least, but I might show off the Ares augments as well. The thing is, on one hand, you would get OP fast, but getting OP fast is still better than getting OP slow when the only thing I was doing for it was killing the same enemies over and over again to get the same materials. That's the hang-up. Yeah, you do have to earn it, but if you learned, or if you figured out or learned that using these augments is the best way to kill this enemy, then you should... It should be unreasonable actually getting the augments, because that's the big thing. It's not that, oh, these augments exist that can make you OP. It's that it takes an unreasonably long amount of time to get these augments. If that makes sense. And it, okay, it does look like we might actually get rid of this foot by the end of this fight. That is true. I think, honestly, X would benefit from portability more than 2 did, because 2 is just straight up big linear JRPG adventure thing, which there's nothing wrong with that, but like, as is very obvious from how poorly it runs in dock mode, they clearly weren't banking on the portability being a selling point of it, which kind of makes sense, because there are a lot of times when you got like 40 minutes of cutscenes in a row and not really much else you can do other than just kind of sit there and watch them. And if you're in handheld, like, that's no fun. The fact that X's gameplay structure is mostly around discovering a new fast travel point every now and then, or doing a quest or 2, you could easily translate that to portability more than you could a big linear thing. The lack of linearity actually helps there, which is probably another reason why portability works so well for both Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. Oop. The 2 things that work best for portability are open and simple. None of the Xenoblade games are simple, but this is the most open one. So, and that's at least my thoughts about that. I really want to one-shot a Jared sometime. Alright. I don't know why I bothered to style on him. Furious Blast was not even necessary. Okay. So it looks like I can be stunned. I don't know how it took me this long to notice it, / remember it, but I can still be stunned regardless of whether or not the attack actually hits me. So it's basically spam buttons the instant I get stunned. Wow, my brain is working, so I'm not sure if I'm in the zone or just falling asleep while fighting here, but we're like a third of the way there after half an hour of fighting. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be getting closer to an hour and a half than 2 hours, which I'm very okay with. I'd like to eat dinner at some point today, so that kind of ensures that. Honestly, the thing I could see them doing is not just straight up make X2. I think what they do is port X to the Switch, and then depending on how well that does, that determines whether or not they make an X2, because yeah, X1 didn't sell the greatest, but it was a Wii U game. So they'd port it to see whether or not it was the Wii U holding it back from selling well, or whether it actually wouldn't have sold well, and then make an X2 to capitalize on that. stuff like that. Because we do know that, well, we don't know if they're working on Smash Switch, but they did work on Brawl in both versions of Smash 4, so it's safe to assume Monolith Soft will be doing at least something for Smash Switch. And also, Sakurai really likes Xenoblade 2, so we're probably going to get Shulk back at the very least. Probably Rex as well as an additional thing. That's another thing. They could, if they just made the hard thing with seeing all of Lau's stuff and making that required is there's got to be a way to do that without spoiling the part that he leaves the party part of the way through the game. Because like you could just make him gain affinity significantly faster than even Elma and Lyn, and do stuff like that. Like, oh, you're just required to have seen Lau's heart-to-heart to do that stuff. But well, actually, if they do what I did, what I said, and just have X expanded or deluxe edition or complete edition or whatever they want to call it, where it's just more plot after chapter 12 and new areas and stuff added on top of port of the additional game, then you could realistically get Lau's stuff back, because he got his body back. Like, he's alive there in the post-credits scene, so they could easily just have him show back up again, do that stuff, because they would have to change a couple things in the post-game to not talk about Lau being dead, because I think Doug's last heart-to-heart has something to do with him being gone now, because that's actually how you get Lau's gear back. If you complete Doug's last heart-to-heart, he'll say something about, oh, they cleaned out Lau's locker and whatever, and he'll give you whatever Lau had equipped onto him at the end of the game, because in the last cutscene, he'll always be wearing his default gear, and not whatever you put him in. I'm not sure if he does that the instant he leaves the party, or only during the ending, but I know as a fact that he goes back to his default gear near the end of the game. I canceled the... That's bad. Can I get Nora out before he kills me? I can. Good. Oh, that's... I hit the B button by accident outside of a QTE. I just lost my uncontrollable, so kind of deserved that. Now I have to build the overdrive counter up again. This is why I didn't want to get too distracted, because this happened. But I think this is recoverable. Infuriate into Furious Blast, increase that. Oh no, they get screwed. Okay, got Astral Librium, Essence Exchange. Okay, I died halfway through. That's not good. I don't remember if he just says, oh, I honestly don't remember that heart-to-heart. I'm not sure if I even did it in this file. But, I do know as a fact that the party assumes he is dead. Like, that's just part of it. They think he's dead at the end of it, because they, like, saw him die. They don't... The post-credit scene where he has his body again is for the player, as far as I can tell. But that's not what we're here for right now. We're here for the suffering of having to start all over again. If I can get back to max overdrive, I should be okay. I know I just wasted half an hour of progress. I'm just choosing to ignore that because I just screwed that up. Oh god. I might have screwed myself a second time here. Okay. I need to have more TP built up at the beginning. Alright, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna get in the Skell and run. Then why not use my Skell to get back? That is true, but I might. As you can see, it's actually doing a lot of damage to the Ares 90 even. So, not sure how much I want to do that. I am going to kill one of these guys just to build up TP, so I can just start with a large amount. That. I think if I want to start with at least 1,000 so I can Astro Librium and then use Essence Exchange. I think that's good. Like, on one hand, it was 100% my fault for dying there, so I don't know if I want to punish myself by starting again from the beginning. We'll see. Wow, that false accent is still on me. Okay. We'll see how far the Ares 90 can even take me in this fight, because this was designed to kill Telethia, so I'm not actually sure how well it's going to do here. Obviously doing more damage. That might have actually been 1,000,000 there. I do know as a fact that I can't actually kill him with this, even though I did hit a couple million damage on there. Yeah, see, he's doing a huge amount of damage. And I don't want to actually lose the Skell because I'm running pretty low on insurance for the 90, unfortunately. Like, yeah, it's a couple million free damage at the beginning, so it's almost trivial. It's like, yeah, I could do a couple % of his HP, but because he changes elements so much, a Skell that can't reflect is virtually useless against him. That's the problem with fighting him. This Skell build is designed to absorb every ether attack Telethia throws at it. It's not designed to get hit by more than a couple strong attacks from elements that aren't ether. So if it was designed to reflect things or avoid things, then yeah, I wouldn't have a problem, but it's ether tank and doesn't have very good resistances against any other element because of that, so I'm not sure how long this is. Like, I'm already under 10,000 HP and I'm taking damage over time, and I'm slow arts, so I just don't know if I want to hop out before it's completely destroyed or after. Just see whether it. Okay, I'll take the cockpit. If I can get to an overdrive, then yeah. Unfortunately, I missed the good Agni Gatling. And it is missing a surprisingly large amount. Okay, so you did a Parasite. Let's see, Gossamer Cannon does attack multiple enemies. Hopefully this is enough to actually one-shot. Why was I worried that it would one-shot the Jared? Wow, that was bad. Okay, there goes all of my GP. So much for overdrive. At least he used an ether attack, so I could completely block something. Well, actually, I think he changed to ether, so should be taking 1 damage at most from everything for a little bit at least. I'm glad I canceled the battle there and not later while I was overdriving again. Would kind of like to get overdrive. Just get him down to half with the Skell, then I'll hop out, because I was basically at half before I died. He didn't do a Jared, but I guess he has the tail swing, regardless as what mode he's in. Did I just get toppled by walking into him? I think I got toppled just by walking into him. Wow. Okay. There's a cockpit. Gonna actually wait until the cockpit wears off to use Agony so I can get him from the side again. Hello, Crownless King. I know I advertised it would be on foot in the announcement video, but I died halfway through, so I'm just using my Skell to get as close to back to where I was first. If you're wondering why I'm using the Ares 90 instead of my own 2 feet. The good thing about him being lower leveled is I can actually hit him with my physical attacks, which I couldn't do on Telethia because I needed the attack up augments to actually damage it in the first place. And thank you for the follow, Groundless King. That was a nice through line there, straight from join to the quick follow. I like it when that happens. It usually doesn't because, like all my YouTube viewers who watch me for Splatoon have already followed, so that hasn't happened very often recently. It's always nice when it does, but I've actually been gaining HP a little bit, which is good to see. Look, okay, that Jared, he's going back to thermal, so my Skell is probably not long for this world. Alright, that roar, I'm gonna hold on to the Skell. Okay. Got the Astrolibrium off before the tail swipe hit me. Okay. Why not stream on both YouTube and Twitch? You actually can't do that. You're supposed to, you kind of have to choose one if you want to, like, die. I forgot the aura doesn't last very long. Okay. That was bad. Basically, you can only be partnered on one of them at a time. I'm not sure if that counts for, like, affiliate for Twitch, because I'm only an affiliate, not a Twitch partner. But, like, just to be safe, I'm not. No, the reason I died there was because I, my aura ran out, because I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, since I'm a YouTube partner and a Twitch affiliate, I can only stream on one of them, and I just chose Twitch because I don't know why I chose Twitch. I think I didn't like the way YouTube streaming worked when I did it, so I went with Twitch, and I've just stuck with Twitch. But like, if you're here, if you know me on YouTube for the Xenoblade stuff, there's not really as much stuff that you can get from the Twitch, because I mostly stream Splatoon. This is like the second time I've streamed anything Xenoblade related, and the first time was the like 5-hour New Game Plus video where I kept not getting Akos. Okay, I swear to God, if this thing kills me. I really hope I get another good run. It's looking like that first attempt was the only really good one that I'm going to have the entire time. Favorite X character besides Nagi? If we're ignoring Celica too, because then I guess probably Hope, just because of like her character art and stuff. Character arc, not character art. I'm not even paying attention to what I'm saying myself at this point. I like to pretend that I'm still in the zone. At this point, the only reason I'm not at least attempting to stream on YouTube is because I've already got the Twitch set up and working well and stuff, and it's kind of hard to shake that after this long. And it's also, as I mentioned in the update video like last week or whatever, it's also just a good way to separate my content. So, like, if you're more into the Splatoon stuff, then you'll find that more on Twitch as opposed to the Xenoblade stuff and everything else, which is on YouTube. Because like I tried to be a Splatoon channel in terms of did like guides and stuff, but I made a few decent ones. They didn't really catch on, and that was fine. It's just I started running out of ideas and ended up, oh, hey, I have a lot more ideas for stuff I could actually make Xenoblade was. And it's also like, yeah, I play Splatoon competitively, but I'm not one of the best in the competitive sphere. Like, yeah, I'm clearly far better than the average player just by virtue of the amount of time I put into both games, but I'm not like good in a competitive sense compared to other competitive players, so I don't think I'm really that qualified to make guides anyway. That was another part of the rationalization. Like, if I'm probably still going to make Splatoon stuff every now and then. It's just I don't have nearly as many ideas for that as I do for both Xenoblade and other things. But it's Parasite time, which hopefully he went to Ether. Doesn't look like he did, because I'm actually taking damage from stuff. Oh, I went to Electric this time, okay. It's a car outside. It's not good. Other thing is, my voice sounds different. I'm using a headset instead of the actual, like, standing mic I use for recording videos. I do know about the instrumental version of Uncontrollable. It actually does play in-game. In a couple of the battle challenges, there are a couple enemies that aren't like main story bosses. Like most of the time, the story bosses, like it's Goetia, the Tainted Sphinx, I think, is in there. The Vita is the Rothian Skells, I think, are one of them, and the Rexo Skell is like the only side quest enemy that's in there. But there's at least one set of enemies that, or like one fight that isn't one of those. Or that isn't a reused story battle, and I think that one uses instrumental Uncontrollable. Not 100% sure, but I know as a fact that there is at least one way that you can hear it in-game. And I think I actually, in addition to the instrumental version of Uncontrollable, I also have the I think that one I just downloaded from a YouTube video, but I also have the vocals only version, where someone took the instrumental and the original and just removed the vocals from it. You can find the instrumental on YouTube, no problem. That's where I got it from. But I just think it's funny. Oh shit! I forgot to overdrive. That hopefully didn't screw me. Probably screwed me. Oh, you're gonna eject the Parasite right now. That's terrible timing. That's beyond terrible timing. Gonna have to build up counter before killing Jared. That's bad. That's bad. Actually, what am I saying? I have an aura that ran out. Okay. That's bad. You know, I could. Or no, that wouldn't. Actually, I can do that. What am I saying? I can dump a couple combat probes in here too. Yeah, just see. Are there any places that are S for combat support in Oblivia? I'll just put melee attack probes in there. I knew I was forgetting to do something. I'm sure this is very, very riveting commentary. I'm just looking at Frontier Nav right now. Okay. And I'm gonna see Do I have enough BP to upgrade? I do not have 108 BP to upgrade Astrolibrium. Poop. That's unfortunate. Like, it already lasts really long. I'm surprised it's running out that quickly. Maybe because my cooldowns aren't going off as quickly. Because Overdrive's not maxed out yet. But we'll see how this goes. The Wind Waker version is probably the rarest version of the gamepad. Or at least officially released version that I could think of. Ooh, he's starting off in Ether mode. I like that. Although, I'm running so low on fuel, I might as well just do that. Actually, that time, I'm going to need to fight one false Axum before I start fighting him every time, I think. You know, actually, one thing I'm surprised about is there are 0 special edition Switch consoles themselves. Like, the only special edition stuff is like, oh, you get a cool Joy-Con version. I'm expecting the QT to be faster than it is. Okay. Let's see, Essence Exchange here, Astrolibrium here to give me invincibility, then I get in the Scale and run away. That gives me a lot more TP than I should have going into the fight. Honestly, if anything, I'm glad that the dock is so plain. Because like they could make special edition docks, so I'm kind of glad I have the completely blank one, because I could just use that and like put a sticker on it or something. A lot of Splatoon players like either get them made or find people that are selling stickers of weapons they play and using those, and just like they put those on their docks to identify it, which is cool and stuff. Or like if they commissioned someone to draw their Inkling, they'll have that printed on a sticker and use that or something. Yeah, we're setting up my room for the long haul stream now, so there goes the hoodie, and I'm turning the heat in my room completely off. Alright. Time for hopefully foolproof mode. Essence Exchange here. And then basically, if I Astrolibrium every chance I get, I shouldn't have nearly as much trouble as I have been. Furiate, Furious Blast, Astrolibrium again. The best part about Furious Blast is honestly why Assault Rifle is the most used ranged weapon with pretty much every Infinite Overdrive build that doesn't use Ghostwalker. Because it's 20 hits, or I think only a few of them hit that time, but there we go. We're already at max overdrive. Yeah, I wonder how hard it is to actually find that Skell figure now. Granted, worst case, just buy the Siren one instead. If you have an Artifice Siren figure. That's the thing, like, I know, like, I don't use Facecam for any of my videos and stuff, and it's not, like, because of a not wanting to use my face for stuff thing or anything. It's because I literally don't have room on my desk for a webcam, and, I'm using I use a laptop for, like, everything, so I don't even have a PC that would, first off, have enough USB ports to run a webcam and stuff, but it's like I'm already thinking ahead of once I do get all the resources to do that stuff, like what I'm gonna decorate the set behind me with. So I'm thinking, like, I have a framed copy of the Shell Smash poster. So I'm thinking like, okay, the next thing I need to do is get the Pyra, Mythra, and Siren figurines, but I think I already missed out on my chance to get Pyra, so I might as well not bother if I can't get all three of them. Although, maybe like, taking the Siren one, putting it next to the Skell one, and then I know it's a fact that there's a Xenogears one somewhere. That'd be a cool, like, triple feature. That's gonna be a fun time stamp to point people to. Like, this is the time when I talked about what I'm gonna do if I ever get a face cam. The unfortunate thing about all of this is that Xenoblade 1 didn't get... It's like the only Xeno game that didn't get figurines of anything. It's like, that would be... Like, I definitely want, like, a Yaldabaoth or a Face Nemesis figurine to put next to the Scale one and the Siren one. Like, that would be probably even cooler than taking the Xenogears one, because it's, like, actually the same series. It's like, they're still making, Cosmos figurines to this day, and like of her Xenosaga versions, not the one that's in 2. So it's like, where's the first game? They don't seem to want to be doing any spoiler things when it comes to like releasing the actual figures, at least for Xenoblade. I think that the same company has released reasonably spoilery stuff from other games, but the thing with the port is it's actually a lot easier for them to port X, since it uses the same graphics engine as 2 does, than it does to port 1. If all they did was upscale the textures, it wouldn't look nearly as good as X or 2 does, because the polygon count is still so low. But swapping to, if they rebuilt 1 from the ground up in the X and 2 engine, that would be amazing, and I'd love to play that. But like, as of now, when it comes to just playing the original game in higher graphics quality, I might as well just dolphin it. Although honestly, the one, of course, because it's me, the one piece of Xenoblade merch that I do want, that I know is never going to happen, is Finch plushie. Like, if there was a figure for it, I'd obviously buy it, but she's like the one character that, like, it makes more sense to have a plushie of than anything. So that's another reason why I might get the Pyra and Mythra figurines, just because, hey, that'll make both Monolith and whoever's making the company behind the figurines realize, hey, there's more money in this stuff. Maybe we should make stuff of other characters, like the Bird Girl. Everyone loves the Bird Girl. That's true. Napon. I forgot that Napon were a thing for a second. They're like the only other thing besides Finch, and like the cuddlier enemy types like Bunnets and stuff that would make more sense as a plushie compared to a figurine. Although honestly, I could probably commission a Finch plush from someone that's not as difficult. My big problem is, I'd get only one of the Pyra and Mythra ones to start out with, but they had to reveal both of them, and they're designed in such a way where if you pose them next to each other, they're facing in opposite directions, so you can stand them sort of facing each other, and... Oh, I don't know, TP, that was a problem. Maybe running out of work. I would pay for a Bunnet plush with a real wrench, but Pyra and Mythra ones, they're posed in such a way where if you stand them in the right way, they're like, it looks like they're crossing their swords in front of something. So if you like do that and then have them crossing their swords in front of the Siren, it look really cool. But you'd have to buy all 3 figures to have that, and not sure if I'm that dedicated yet. Like, I'd buy one figure, no problem. The fact that there are 3 and that I wouldn't be able to decide between them is what's hanging me up. Although I do actually have an original print Shulk amiibo, which is reasonably rare too. I don't even remember how I lucked out on that one. I know, like, I actually went to a GameStop and they had one. Fallout is a series that I need to get into. Like, I had a very Nintendo childhood, so like, I got a PS4 at the end of 2016, and that was my first non-Nintendo console. I didn't get Fallout 4 for it yet because I mainly wanted it for like Final Fantasy 15 and all the Kingdom Hearts stuff because I knew Kingdom Hearts 3 was coming at some point, and I figured I could at least get the HD collections to have the other games, even if it inevitably doesn't come to PS4 and Xbox One. I do have New Vegas on Steam. I got like the entire game and all the DLC for like $4 because Steam is insane. Need to start that at least. Yeah, that I was segueing into New Vegas, believe it or not. Like, I was just saying, I hadn't really played non-Nintendo games until a couple years ago. Didn't get the Fallout game for the console I did have, but I do have the one that everyone likes. Actually, speaking of Kingdom Hearts, I did get the 1.5, 2.5 HD collection, so I do have like all the games for Dream Drop Distance, but I've never played any of them, so my next Let's Play is going to be Kingdom Hearts 1 Blind, with the tagline, "All I know is as much of the story as you can possibly know without having played the game." And wow, I might need to like straight up pause the game to take a drink of water at some point. Infuriate. We're in a good position. Yeah, that's the thing. The entire series is like incredibly screwy just with everything. But you can now own the entire series on PS4 with just 3 games, including 3 when it comes out. So it's like they somehow managed to take that series and make it so accessible that I'm actually risking getting into it. Like, I got the HD collection that had most of the games on it for $20 on sale, so it's like, why wouldn't I do this? It's just in terms of amount of games. There's just a lot of PlayStation RPGs I need to finish. Like, I finished Nier Automata, I finished Persona 5. I still need to finish the Final Fantasy X remaster. And I'm honestly probably just going to end up buying Final Fantasy 15 again because the Royal Edition costs less than all the DLC included in it combined. So I'd rather just buy the game again, even though I already actually have the special edition. Like, my PS4 is the Final Fantasy 15 edition, because that was the cheapest one available at the time I bought it. But, as you can see, we're actually in a reasonably good position for once. I don't want to... I was going to say I could get my Skell again, but I don't want to burn the max overdrive counter I've got. Like, I got too good a thing going to stop now. I should have swapped out for Starlight Duster. I really should have. I'll be kicking myself later for that. That was a waste of essence exchange. Apparently red into green also increases overdrive length, which I didn't know. I just knew using blue will increase overdrive length. Actually, you know what I should have done? Besides my reflection augments, I should have got the ones that increase reflected damage, so I'd be doing more damage back to him with the attacks. And then like also got armor with low element resistances, because I forgot actually. I'm gonna just pause again and look up his wiki page. I think he has really high resistances to everything. He's got... Oh, that's why it's taking me so long. His highest resistances are... Well, actually, his highest resistance is physical, and I think this is... I'm using a physical melee weapon. And then he also has pretty good resistance to beam, which is a lot of photon saber arts, shock, and gravity. Like, the only thing he's explicitly weak to thermal and doesn't... and neutral towards ether. So that's why the Ares was good for just knocking a big chunk off of him at the beginning. But I'm already starting up now, so no slowing down at this point. And hey, you're seeing something that isn't Ghostwalker killing a super boss. That's not actually the newest thing. I think there's a... I don't know if it's like explicitly the best thing now, but I know that there's a really good shield build that was discovered relatively recently too. I don't know, I need to talk to people in the Xenoblade Reddit Discord server. There are still people that go for world records in X to this day, and things are like consistently being broken too, so it's not like, oh, they're looking for something that's not there. No. This game has been broken wide open, but there's still very far to go in terms of breaking it even more. I like this plan of just essence exchanging every time I kind of run low on HP. TP, or every time I fill up on TP, overdrive twice and then essence exchange. That just gives me like an extra huge amount of overdrive. So I have augments to increase the length of my overdrives as well. Should have paid attention to the time it was at when I started this attempt. Because I was half an hour through when I died the first time. I'm pretty sure every other time I died within 5 minutes, so it wasn't too bad. But it doesn't look like we've actually got a good metric for how long this attempt is going to take, because I'm going to be ballsy, I'm going to be confident. I'm going to say that we're actually going to win this time. I know it's blasphemy thinking that I might actually succeed at something in this game, but I'm going to hold out a little bit. Hope is like one of my, well actually like I said before, probably my third favorite character in the game. So I think it's okay to have a little cheesy. I've passed the cheese horizon at this point. I've already not been speaking coherently. This is just even worse. Ooh, I thought I was going to get launched there for a second. That would have been bad. I like how my overdrive's just consistently been lasting this long now. Like, it's not even... counter's not even going down right now, which is kind of bizarre. It makes me think it's busted a little bit, because it's not doing the thing it normally does when it's like you have more counter than can be displayed. So, hopefully that doesn't just screw up. You know, I'm going to just tick that now. Just to make sure. I think I might have bugged out my overdrive, because it's not decreasing. Oh, that's bad. I'm now flying completely blind with the amount of time I have left in my overdrive. I think I'm also starting to hear things, because like I can hear uncontrollable very slightly in the background as if it were fading away, even though it visually is saying it isn't. I'd also like to point out, my Skell has gained over 2,000 fuel back since we started this attempt. Okay, something. Okay, it's just decreasing really slowly. I'm okay with this. I don't know how I did it, but I must have built it up so much that it's not decreasing quickly at all. I don't know what this looks like it's counting longer time intervals than it usually does, and that's the thing, because I only gained one from using my aura there. I only gained one from reactivating overdrive. That's never seen that happen before. Although it's still working as overdrive, so I'm not going to complain here. Starfall Blast, our Starfall Blade's going so quickly at this point. Yeah, I'm getting either a Starfall Blade or a Starfall Rondo every time I use art. I don't even need Blossom anymore at this point. I didn't need to use Furious Blast. Oh well. Let's do that. Double overdrive and go back to the reds. I'm actually not sure what you mean there by solar power. I also really wish I had a better Photon Saber. Oh man. Well, we'd probably be about killing him now if I didn't die on the first attempt. I really wish I didn't die on the first attempt. Big thing of this is only 2 of my arts can do this, and only when they're triple charged, and only then will they do 1/10% of his HP. So it's like I need to hit him with about 1,000 triple charged Starfall Blades or Starfall Rondos, maybe even more. Like I'm going as a low ball, I think 1.5 times at that, like 1,500 basically is the amount of times I need to hit him with either Starfall Blade or Starfall Rondo on its triple cooldown in order to win. Plus a few more for all the parasites. I don't even need to Essence Exchange anymore either. I don't think Fire Tears of Astrolibrium increase the power of the reflects, but it's just good to use it anyway because it lasts longer and I can go without using it again longer. And yeah, I bet you didn't think there was a use for taunt arts. Other thing is, most of my arts, actually, I think all my, besides Galactic Cataclysm, all my main arts are, what do you call it, single target, so This build also doesn't work very well against multiple enemies. Actually, the version with Starlight Duster is even worse. Because Duster, I think, is a single target. There we go, big overdrive. Honestly, I probably shouldn't even bother extending the overdrive until it looks like it actually really needs it. I'm actually pretty scared as to how long this is going to take to export to YouTube. I've never exported anything longer than 2 hours, and it looks like this is going to be about 3, at least. So hopefully this doesn't break YouTube on my computer. That would be bad. Bright side, I got a nice rhythm going. Sorry, as Shulk would say, I got a good rhythm going, but my mouth is way too dry to attempt to do a Shulk voice right now. No, I could do a better Shulk than Rex, at least. And I could probably do a couple X characters better than any of the ones from 1 and 2, just because I wouldn't be forced to do to attempt the British accent, which I'm pretty sure the entire country of Britain got on my case when I tried to do the Rex voice that one video. Or the entire UK shouldn't get that stuff wrong. Even though 70% of my YouTube audience is from the US according to my analytics. Oh, see, it's whichever kind of infinite overdrive build you go with basically depends on what you think is cooler. Do you think it's cooler for a dinosaur to step on you and miss, or cooler for a dinosaur to step on you and you not feel it at all? Because that's basically the difference between Omni Reflect and Ghost Walker. I was hoping that I could get the one-shot with the Galactic Cataclysm. That's sad. But I did that. Extra style points for kind of hitting him too while also killing the Jared. That's what I was going for. I'm also not sure whether or not his appendages make him take less or more damage, so actually that's a good thing to look up. I might be making this take even longer than it should. Alright, will it actually list his appendages on the wiki? It won't. Okay. Alright, I can't find it very easily, so I'm going to assume that it doesn't exist outside of things like Discord. No, this isn't a gacha stream. Wrong game for gacha stream. You know, I was originally going to upload a video of Akos versus Akos, like whenever I ended up getting him into, but it's been so long and I've never gotten him that there's literally no point in doing that video anymore. Because, like, most people have not only already got him, but I'm sure there's at least one video of him, of that already. Probably some sort of son of a bitch joke, because he's not the only son of a bitch. The game is also a son of a bitch. I wish I started this fight with my Stell, so I could have gone faster. We're like a third of the way there, I think. I hope. Should have actually been counting the amount of Jareds we got too, so I know how many to expect. Actually, I just used Starfall Rondo outside of melee combo because I'm mad. And the smartest man in the world who just Starfall blossomed into the dinosaur's toe. Galactic Cataclysm for the Jareds now. Actually, that's a very smart idea. Only use Galactic Cataclysm when a Jared is out, and stop using it once it's dead, so I can just hit Gradivus for at least reasonably large numbers every time. That's the kind of cool thing about fights that take this long. You can develop new strats in the middle of the fight and implement them in the middle of the fight because it takes so long. I'm honestly just glad that, like, if the Telethia Ares fight with the build I used lasted this long, I'd probably hate it. Because I'd have to, like, change up my battle style multiple times in the middle of a very long fight. At least this time, because he doesn't change elements, I don't need to do anything different. I just need to keep clicking away and hope I don't die. Oh yeah, you didn't know Sonic Forces was a Xenoblade game? I thought that was common knowledge. This is the prototype where there's no gamer hat, unfortunately. I would definitely wear the gamer hat that's in this game. I mean, I'm bad at taking an avatar character and trying to make him look cool. Oh, the hard part about actually landing Galactic Cataclysm on the Jared is the Jared has to actually be in the way of the Galactic Cataclysm. See, that's harder.
We're in a good position. Move in. Let's do this. Infuriate. Essence exchange. Starfall block. Sometimes you have to be reckless. Close in.
That I'm gonna say that's about 2/5 of the way down. 40-ish%.
We're in a good position.
I'm not sure if I'm saying this because it's accurate or if I'm saying this to make myself feel better. But I am saying it. At this point, I actually almost wish he changed up visually at least the attacks he uses when you get him under half health. But at least be visually different. That's another thing that I want, like, as an extra option in a port or remake, or just you could probably disable it manually in emulation. But the motion blur on everything when you're in overdrive, I'd love to see this fight like go on, but like actually be able to see things because you kind of can't with the overdrive filter on everything. Like, yeah, I can make the general shape of large dinosaur man out, but I can barely see myself. And like basically because I've only used Galactic Cataclysm in overdrive before, I never really noticed that when you use it, it actually turns your sword into a Monado shape. Like, look at this from the side. The whole circle thing shows up and everything. And I just completely lied about when I said I was going to use Cataclysm, but... Actually, I kind of wonder if the way the HP bars in this game work is just on a percent basis. Like, the minimum tick is 1% HP. Because, like, the instant I hit him, it, what am I trying to say? The instant I hit him the first time, there was a sizable gap in his HP, even though I, like, didn't do much. So I'm starting to think that the way the HP bar works is it's just like a... It floors his current HP percentage. It does that. It's not every single large attack I do that actually decreases it. It's every few. So if it was more of a constant pixel by pixel thing, it would be showing up. At least I think if I'm doing the math right. Alright, I'm doing less damage now, so I might have activated an aura. Wait a minute. I'm thinking I'm starting to remember something. Hold on. Does he get an aura? Okay, good. For a second, I thought he got an aura that doubled his defenses partway through the fight. That would have been terrifying. And not terrifying because of, like, oh, I have to hit him more, but terrifying because, oh no, I have to be here for even longer. You're going parasitic. Yes, the HP number is correct. Those aren't taken from the game, believe it or not. Or not data mined, rather. There is actually a bestiary that does list stuff like that, and like for 5 minutes before starting the stream, I did have the game set to that, and it did have 10 million and 40. I don't know why 10 million and 40, but 10 million and 40. Or 100 million and 40, I'm sorry. Because there isn't a damage cap. Or rather, whatever the... I think the damage cap is 1 billion. So, it's not to avoid getting... It's not to avoid you one-shotting him if you can do enough damage, which... I'm actually not 100% sure you actually can do enough damage to him to one-shot him. No, actually no. I've seen someone one-shot him with Agni Gatling before. Or no, not Agni Gatling, B Gatling. Super low. I wish Xenoblade 2 had a bestiary, because there is an unused menu texture of a red bunnet icon that was very obviously supposed to be a bestiary. If anything, I hope they like I can't, I don't think they'd make that DLC. It doesn't seem like some sort of additional content. Maybe that you can, maybe it's one of the things you unlock through the challenge mode, but I kind of doubt that. What I'm thinking is they might patch it in future patches, since unlike a lot of the other unused UI elements, it's finished, it's not unfinished, like all the prototype portraits. There are like 6 different unused Rex portraits in there for some reason. And they're like just straight up characters that join later, like Rexnia and Tora, all have, like, all versions of their portraits are mostly completed. Most of the Vandam, Morags, and Zeke in the game's files are unfinished. Like, they're missing some of the detail or the extra coloring. Like, it's just the flat colors. So it's kind of cool seeing that. Even though the designs were finalized, the actual official art wasn't finalized until later. Which, actually, I do want to compare some of the Xenoblade 2 designs to the other things that the guy worked on, because I'm trying to tell if he colored that, like, to me that implies that the artist wasn't the one who did the final colors for the Xenoblade 2 arts. I want to see if it matches the coloring style used in the, well, at least the one anime he worked on. I don't know if my FBI agent will take too kindly to me googling the hentai he did. You know what my biggest gripe with Xenoblade 2's UI is? It isn't... Because, like, the menus themselves, I think actually work surprisingly well, and the map stuff got a lot better with the updates. The one thing I really wish they fixed, though, was the font, because for some reason, it's using the same altered Helvetica that the title screen, the actual logo uses, and that's fine, except for the part where some of the letters are italic and some of them aren't. So there's a mix of regular letters and italic letters, and it causes them to like run into each other and stuff. It just doesn't look right from a graphic design standpoint, and I know it's a very personal thing to have irking you, but that's like the worst part about it for me. And I don't know why they didn't fix that with all the QOL updates, because God, the QOL updates were so good. Like, you don't have to watch the field skill cutscene every time you do Pyra's cooking. That alone made the game so much better. Like, legit. That fixed so many problems. And again, it leads more into my theory that 1.3 was the state of the game they kind of wanted 1.0 to be. Because it was very obviously things that were cut out because of, if they didn't, they'd delay it. And they definitely couldn't delay it because, like, you know, holiday season, first year of a new console, kind of important stuff. Did I just take damage, or was that the Jared? Looks like I'm at full HP, so I assume that was the Jared. The thing about X's UI that scares me is, it was even smaller in Japanese. Like, it's not bad if you're playing on a monitor as opposed to a TV. If it's on a TV, it's awful. But, yeah, if you're on a monitor where you're close enough, it's fine. I can see everything perfectly here. It was a little harder when I was like 8 feet away from my TV. Yeah, that's fine. The Japanese text is even smaller than this. They actually increased the size, and it was still so small that most people who played the game were complaining about it. Like, kind of scary. Also, another thing that was good about X's UI is you can turn parts of it off. There are a lot of times when I'd like to turn... Because you could turn the entire UI off in this game. You can't do that in 2, although you can remove some parts of it. And that's great if you just want to take, like, good pictures of the environment and stuff. I will always want to do that with 2, but, like, I can't get a full 720 image. I think it's, or no, I think it's 900. Like, I can't get a full 900 actual image screenshot of it because the UI will always get in the way of anything that isn't a cutscene, which is just really unfortunate. Sure, it would look better emulated. Honestly, like, I'm using a 4K monitor right now. It's just, I don't think my Dell laptop could handle emulating a Wii U game in 4K. I could almost certainly get away with the original game in at least HD, but I don't know. Worst part is, only reason I have a 4K monitor is because my previous laptop was 4K, and I thought I would be able to get used to editing less than 4K. No, I don't think there are a way to turn those things off. Like that's what I was saying with how you could remove all of X's UI, but like with 2s, all I'd want would be like the time, the minimap, and the mission direction indicator only if I had an active mission. Like, I'm glad you can shrink the quest thing, but it's like still not good. Also, did I just break an appendage? Or I did not mean to exit exchange there. Oh well. I think I broke a foot. Yeah, it won't target the foot. Okay, that's good. Now we just need to find the one that's the next.
We're in a good position. Move in.
Another thing I'd want to be able to turn off is the frickin' D-pad prompts. Like, if I just accidentally click the D-pad when I'm doing something, which is especially big when you're doing like endgame stuff, because the main strat there is to auto attack 1, then click the control stick backwards, and auto attack 1, then click the control stick backwards to charge up your arts faster. Sometimes, well, actually it doesn't do that in battle, but the tutorial slides that show you controls and stuff that pop up every time you hit anything on the D-pad is also awful. And also, why are like all the power-up buttons R plus X?
We're in a good position. Move in.
Actually, would replacing them with blank textures work for that? I'm not 100% sure. Just because I don't remember if it like actually stopped you from moving when you open that. Because if it still stopped you from moving, you would need to change something more than just the texture. I think it just goes translucent and completely, so that wouldn't fix it. I don't know. People haven't even managed to data mine more than 1.1 or than 1.0, so I don't know how in the card's actual emulation is going to be. It's gonna happen, just might be a few years.
We're in a good position. Move in.
Oh wait, I need to get the special edition list thing too. Is that? I keep forgetting all this stuff. I need to get the secret files for both 1 and X. I probably eventually want yeah, everything that's not from the sample CD from the special edition, that's music from the game, I'm just straight up plugging the data mine files in MP3 form into my editing software and using that. And it's great because you can actually hear the endings to the songs, because some of them have endings that you never hear because it loops before then. A lot of the battle themes are. And just having You Will Recall Our Names is always a good thing, because You Will Recall Our Names is amazing. It's the only thing, it's probably the only battle theme in the series that can even come close to uncontrollable for me.
We're in a good position. Move in.
I'm gonna say Switch Virtual Console is probably gonna come sooner than any of those, because the next Xenoblade game that comes out is going to be a Switch port or a remaster of X. They're not gonna redo 1 before they redo X. I can guarantee that. And the datamine, like the files I have are the original datamine files, just converted to MP3. So they're good enough quality to hold me over until I can get a copy of the actual OST CD and rip that. Like, I don't remember what file they originally came out on, or like they were directly data mined, as it was just not one that I had easy ability to play, so I just didn't bother and was like, okay, I'll take the MP3s. The MP3s are more than good enough for now. Although the problem is, I would need to get one of the special edition versions, because that comes with all like the fanfares and stuff, and I'd like higher quality versions of the fanfares because most of my stream notifications right now are actually some of the fanfares from Xenoblade 2, because if go here, if I do a test alert, like you probably heard the follow one at least, that's one of the area discovered. Through? Okay, it didn't make the sound for some reason. There we go. Probably pretty loud. Not only is it Poppy dancing, but it's also the fanfare that plays when you kill a unique monster. So yeah, I actually I have a couple of the fanfares for the original game, so I'm gonna swap those over to those when I do the Minato Monday streams of the first game. I'm gonna swap it over to those, and I have a GIF of Ricky dancing too that I can replace Poppy with when I'm playing one. Like, I have this thought out. Because no one wants to see Tatsu dancing, so I need a different cute GIF for X. Also, I think someone actually followed in the middle of that. Thank you. I completely missed that, but thank you. Oh, it's Napons. Just while I was talking about Napon. Is the music still over my voice? Okay. First off, I can move the mic closer to my mouth, and second off, I can decrease my capture card volume. Also, thank you, Disappointed Gay, for the follow. I actually saw that one in real time. So, hopefully you're not disappointed by that, because I actually got it on time. Oh no, my overdrive almost half empty. Time to completely fix that. See, that's the thing. If I make my mic any louder, it peaks every time I speak and literally kills people on Discord. So I have to find a medium where I'm not completely overshadowed by the game audio or other people I'm in voice chat with. Come on. Oh, I forgot to kill Jared. That's a problem. Go. Damn. I always love when the entire HP bar disappears. Like, aesthetically, I think I like it better in 2, just because, like, it doesn't jump every time you hit. It actually, like, scrolls down. So I love seeing a big HP bar scroll all the way down to nothing. But yeah, that's like the one thing that 2's UI definitely does better than X's. It's a lot more just satisfying to the violent repressed part of my brain to see the HP bar scroll down as opposed to jump down. Like, if you one-shot something in this game, like, say if I use a Goss or a cannon, it'll jump like twice down to 0 because 2 hits of the art kill it. But if it was in 2, it would just scroll down twice. Just looks cooler. And I think we're down to the last 25-ish% of HP on this thing too, so I can rest my voice at some point, which is nice. Like, this is, like, at least when I'm playing Splatoon with people. I mean, it's literally not even the arts that are particularly bad about this build. It's the fact, like, I'll show the gear I'm using when I'm done, but like, it's a level 50 Photon Saber. None of my armor has good augments besides like the actual stuff needed for Omni Reflect. There are definitely ways to make this go faster. I'm just not doing any of them because this is the way I beat Gradivus the first time. This is also, it's just the point being, like, as a successor to the Let's Play, this is how I kill things on foot after showing this is how I killed things in Skells after it took me an hour to remember how I actually killed Telethia the first time. But that's not important now because it's taking longer to kill Gradivus when I'm doing it correctly than it did to kill Telethia when I was figuring out how. I'm just really, really glad he doesn't have the defense boost aura, because I thought he did. I don't know why, I just got it in my head that he had one. He's on electric mode. Yeah, Telethia has about 1/10 the health of Gradivus. That's why it's taking so long. That's why even the Ares 90 was barely able to dent it before it got destroyed. Like, it's... I built it because I couldn't... Because it's hard to hit Telethia on foot, I figured I might as well make a skill build to kill it anyway. So... there's that, and it, like, Skells are damage capped, ground isn't. Obviously this build isn't going to be hitting, it's not even going to be passing the Skell damage cap in the first place, so it's not that big a deal. But my super buff Ares 90 is worse suited to this fight than Omni Reflect, just because he could use more than one element when Telethia almost exclusively uses Ether. Also, was I stunned? I guess I was stunned. But the reason the Ares 90 can live everything Telethia throws at it without having to rely on a bunch of evasion stuff, which is why you'd want to use either a Lila to evade or Massima / Amduzis to just one-shot. It's just because I have so much Ether defense where it could only do 1 damage to me when it was using an Ether attack. And it's why I was so scared of every other element it threw at me. I swear I keep hearing Uncontrollable slightly in the background, even though the overdrive isn't anywhere near running out. And it terrifies me even more every time. So I keep thinking I'm going to drop overdrive and die this close to the end, which... if dying halfway through is bad, dying 3/4 of the way through is even worse, and I might have to call it for the day if that happens, but I'm not even going to say anything like I jinx it, because whether or not you believe in any sort of superstition, I'm at the point where I'm not going to risk. So he's immune to something. I think it must be the... he might be using the arts that inflicts laser shock or whatever, and that's what he's immune to, because none of these have bonus effects, unless I have some sort of... arts inflict sleep or bind or whatever. Not bind, it wouldn't have bind. But So my main problem with this is it is the overdrive theme is supposed to fade out into whatever battle theme is supposed to play for that enemy when you get near the end of the overdrive. I've had my overdrive counter over half full for at least the last half hour of the fight, and I've still sort of heard it sometimes, which really worries me. And Soda's only having 81 HP. You know, at least I didn't Essence Exchange with 0 TP any times today. That I did a lot by mistake. Honestly, when you're doing Rare Blade Affinity charts, you should do Ursula first, because her Merc missions are good for leveling up things on other Rare Blades. Like, yeah, okay, you're already doing exactly what I said. So, like, their hell, but you can use their hell, you can use Ursula hell to get out of lesser tiers of hell, so you only have to do, like, one hell. Oh, I just realized my gamepad charger fell out, so hopefully I can win this before it dies. Because I don't have a Wii U Pro controller, so my gamepad dies, I'm screwed. Oh yeah, if you're going for the 100% everything in New Game Plus, then it's really not hard at all. If you're trying to do it in the initial game and then just doing the Torna stuff last, then it's hard. Especially because you don't like need any sort of maxed out blade to actually beat the game. I feel like X is by far the actual hardest in terms of main story. Although we'll see if that changes when I go back to play 1. See, I know she's not the greatest gameplay-wise, but I'd rather have like 8 versions of Finch instead of all the Torna Blades, so I'm not hurting too badly about not having Akos. That's the one thing I wish you could do. Get duplicates of Rare Blades in New Game Plus. Because you know that I'd be going with the 9 Finch setup. You probably actually got Cosmos even earlier than I did. I got her while, like, right after Zeke joined the party, when I was like, okay, you know, I think I died to the Jin fight in Temperantia, and was like, okay, let's try to get Zeke another Rare Blade so I can actually use him in the fight better. And that got Cosmos. Oh god, what if you could? Oh yeah, you got Rocket. You probably said that before, and I forgot about that. The rhythm of killing Gradivus has affected my memory in some way. Or maybe being a Finch fan has affected my memory in some way. That could also be it. I forget what I was going to say now. Oh, yeah. You already made the always have been, always will be joke for me, but I was going to say, if you switch into rock and then switch into rock, will be 2 always have been, always will be's overlap with each other. That's incredible food for thought. Hold on, I can get the exact percentage because all the charts and stuff have a cap as to how high, like the maximum percentage for it. Cosmos, the most like, best options, as in maxed out Justice Idea level, Legendary Core Crystal, high capped luck, all that stuff. The highest chance of getting her you'll ever get is 0.714%, and it's usually about 0.01.
Starfall Blossom! Starfall Blade!
It's kind of stupid. The thing is, I got Cosmos without having to grind very much, and I got, like, everyone except Akos within, like, one set of crystals, like, not even 99 legendaries. It was, like, 40-something legendaries and then 99 rares and commons. Pulled all of those. I got several non-Torna Blades, because I didn't even have all of them in that file. It's just Akos. I don't know why it's just Akos, but it is just Akos. Actually, that's kind of cool. I knew it did that, but I didn't actually see the names for it. When he changes the element of his attacks, the actual names of them change, because the thermal one is multi-Dino Mortar, multi-Thunder Mortar, multi-Ether Mortar. I don't know if can you even turn gravity. I don't know if I've seen it yet. I'm gonna say don't make fun of Boreas, only because his voice actress is the same as Finch. Although Finch and Bridget are voiced by the same person, which I find hilarious, but I'm also impressed at, like, how good her vocal range is. Because that's, like, actually pretty quality. She was one of the several people who also voiced the Thomas the Tank Engine characters. That might just be because of that. Be glad that you got her before the data mine happened. You know, if we're talking about what ifs, I could put that one in. You know how I was saying I was planning on starting what ifs? Like, one that I was I know that the first one I'm gonna do, because X's plot isn't as deep or as complex, or, well, it is deep, but the actual plot isn't as long or as complex as the ones in the other games, so I wanted to start with an X what if, just to get my feet wet. So I'm gonna first start out with what if the white whale landed safely, like if it didn't crash and the lifehold core got screwed up. But, like, the next big what if I'm probably gonna do, two-wise at least, is what if Malos and Mithra had their places switched? Like, what if Amalthus and Adam woke up the opposite Aegis cores to the ones they did? So, like, obviously because of the way Aegises work, in reality it would just be their personalities would be switched, but we'd be taking versions of it, just changing their canon versions to be more fitting their new role in the story. But what I was actually planning on doing as an April Fool's what if, probably next year, so as one of the few people watching this stream, you probably already know what my April Fool's video for 2019 will be. It would be, what if Malos's blade was Finch instead of Sever? And, like, it wouldn't change anything except for some of the dialogue, with Malos being annoyed that Finch was, like, not paying attention to anything that was going on. You see, the thing about that what if is, we don't know Rex's sexuality, so the way I was thinking about it, okay, if Rex is straight, there is no romance subplot in the entire game at all, or he ends up with Nia. If he isn't, then yeah, you can keep, you could just keep that thing and make Jin and Mithra the straight ones, while Rex and Malos are the gay ones. And, like, that also works too. That's probably going to be a That would be like a ask the viewers at some point in the middle of the what if. Also, Malos needs a Pyra form because Malos is the equivalent of Mithra. So I need to basically create an OC to be the weaker version. I've already probably figured out that it would be ice because, yeah, water is the opposite of fire, but at the same time, that would be so many water blades in the main cast if you count Dromark, the other big one, and a Geon. So, like, I'm not sure. Ice also just works in general. It'd be a cool contrast to the Jin stuff. And actually, I'm pretty sure it might not have actually been hit, but I've seen some screenshots. I've like one of the best top 3 Western players, because the r/Xenoblade Chronicles Discord server is like the place for learning ridiculous things about this series. It's where I first saw the data mine stuff, and I'm scrolling up because he posted a picture of one of the strongest hits he'd ever gotten. I think it might have been hacked, but I'm pretty sure it was capped or hacked to the cap. Okay. Oh no, it was a Photoshop. Never mind. I forgot that it was a Photoshop. He photoshopped it to 99,999,999. I forgot it was Photoshop, so my bad. I forgot the heavy hitter record is about 80 million. I know that. I can link to the server later, but you should be able to just Google r/Xenoblade_Chronicles Discord server. Or like just go to the subreddit itself. And there should be a link to there, relatively easy to reach. I don't remember if other people can make links. I don't remember if you can make links other than just sharing the one. You probably can since it's very public and stuff, but just if you value your sanity, stay out of the Xenoblade 2 spoilers channel in that server, because there's people get into an argument about the story or about Rex as a character or about Pyra as a character every day, and just be mindful of that, but otherwise it's pretty good. It's also, I don't know if you're one of the people who started following me on Twitter, but it's also where I get most of the art, fan art that I retweet from too. Also, we're under 10%. I've been talking so much, I completely didn't notice how close to actually winning this fight we are. Now the real question is, do I want to finish this on foot or hop in the Skell to end it in style? I advertised it on foot, so I probably should do it on foot, but it's tempting. I have to say it's tempting. You know, I'll actually not target an appendage too. Just attack the main body. I don't know whether... I'm not doing any different damage really, so I think the... Maybe the appendage is softer, because doing less damage now. Hold on. Okay, it's definitely... The appendage takes more damage, because if you don't know how X works, different appendages can have different hardnesses that either increase or decrease the total amount of damage you deal, so these must be softer than the main body. It's less than 20% more damage, but it is definitely more damage than when I was attacking the main body. Overdrive essence. This could be bad. I might be running out of aura. Okay. That moment there was the closest I came to dying this entire attempt of the fight. I'm getting so close, I don't really know what else to talk about. Other than how much I keep getting launched. Alright. You know, one thing I kind of wish is, like, X Endgame, like, runs into the quote-unquote Dragon Ball problem, where Overdrive is supposed to be like your super mode that you use to do all that sort of extra powerful stuff when you really need it, but by Endgame and for all post-game stuff, Overdrive becomes like the norm. It's the way you normally fight, at least on foot. So I kind of wish there was like an Overdrive. I don't know. I feel like there should be a higher tier of power above Overdrive, because Infinite Overdrive is just too easy to do to be the most powerful thing in the game. Well, maybe that's a thing that they do in a sequel or remake or something. Like, have you start off with Overdrive. That would be a very good thing to do. Like, pull a bend. If they make it X2 and it follows the same characters, they definitely should pull a Banjo-Kazooie and start with you having all your stuff from the previous game. Like, maybe not level 60, but have the avatar start out with access to all 6 class trees without having to go through the weaker levels first. Like, you could start out in the equivalent of a level 3 class or whatever, and then maybe have more class options branch out of that, because hopefully they add new classes and stuff in the next 2. And then, like, have you start out with the Overdrive gear and then get an upgrade to it partially through, or like, oh, humans somehow get their natural bodies back partway through the story. And that has its own special power or something that L and Celica can still do. L and Celica shouldn't even be able to overdrive, but they did it as a gameplay thing to make them not objectively worse than everyone else. It's kind of weird. Like, the progression of the most powerful thing you can do goes from ground to ground overdrive to Skell overdrive, then back to ground overdrive. Like, as you progress through the game. That'd be a fun fight. L versus Rock. Who can out... L versus Rhine versus Zeke as to who can out-meme the others. You know, one thing I do want to see is, why can't I use my... Oh, I'm out of TP. That's bad, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad. He's under 1%. Okay, that was almost awful. Okay. I think... There we go! Oh, God. I'm glad it at least cut back to uncontrollable at the end. And because of the amount of parasite Jareds I killed throughout the fight, I get huge amounts of gear for that. Advanced original stuff is unfortunately not the greatest, but take what I can get. Clear Jared soup like Carapace. One thing that I do want to see in X2 is go to somewhere else on the planet where the other members of L's species exist, and like meet them, or go to an actual unexplored area where the Napon and L hadn't been to before, and like have humanity actually discovering something on Mira for itself. But from Gradivus, we get kind of mediocre Advanced Reginald Wizard, a Heat Edge, I think that's a pretty decent one, and a Tough Tendon. Did not get a second copy of Gradivus' Hollow Figure. I think, yeah, L is the only, unless you count the Telethia, L is the only sentient species who doesn't have more than one of his species seen in X. And even then, you could technically count Telethia Plume, so it's like, what is up with you, L? And also, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, Celica, true, Celica counts, but there was concept art for another one of her species. Oh, and Elma. Yeah, the actual reason they didn't include party members from other races besides the very, very human-like ones is because they wanted to use the same animations. So I'd almost, like, for everyone, I'd be okay if they ditched the class system altogether besides the avatar and just had, or like maybe be able to customize the avatar into whatever race they want and have like different races fight differently. So we could have like yeah, you couldn't fight as an Orphe or a Zarubagan, but like every other race is combat capable. Or a Manon. You could fight like a Manon and a Skell only or something. But where's the what am I thinking of? Like we need a Rothian version, a Clarion version, Elma's race. There are two kinds of prone. Like a Definian would be awesome. Like there's a control status already, but what about a copy status where you like actively turn into them? Also, you might notice I'm here in Sylveland because Pharsis killed me when I tried fighting her in the Let's Play, so I'm going to come back for revenge. I think my only problem was not overdriving, so I'm just going to head down here, build up GP, then go back up and fight her. Because the end of the Gradivus fight wasn't very climactic. Because I was just doing the same stuff I was doing at the beginning of the fight. But if you want a climax, then gotta fight a super boss. This is probably the worst way of building up GP, but I don't care. I'm only gonna try Pharsis once though, because I do need dinner at some point. I know Pharsis doesn't use Uncontrollable or a boss theme, or because a couple of the super bosses actually use like one of the story boss themes, which I think is kind of cool. But I don't remember if I'm thinking Hoseki no Kuni, because of some very convoluted thing I used to tie them together as a joke once. But I know she has a not normal battle theme. I don't remember if it's her own. Let me search the wiki right now. One of the story boss themes, in the Affinity Mission boss theme, or one of the Affinity Mission boss themes, or no, okay. Words. She does not use the Global Nemesis theme. She uses Crisis, which is one of the story boss themes. It's actually Goetia's theme. Is the main story mission. It also shows up in a few Affinity missions. Basically, every super boss besides Telethia uses it. Telethia has its own theme. Also, thank you, Reflay2210, or however you want me to say that number. Thank you for the follow. But yes, she doesn't use Uncontrollable. She uses one of the regular boss themes. which is still a unique thing. Have I done the lobsters? I have done the lobsters in this file. I did not do them in the Let's Play for obvious reasons. Very, very obvious reasons. Actually, don't you need to do the lobsters to get Mia? I forget. I know you need Definian Downfall to get her. I don't remember if you need to finish the lobster quest as well. Because like I thought part of her mission was that the hangar part of the Definian cave needed to be empty, so you needed to kill both the Rexoskel and the... Okay. She doesn't require lobsters, but I did it. I did do it. I don't know why I thought she did. I think I said that in the Let's Play, which is... Oops. Not the biggest mistake I made.
Wear them down from a distance.
Alright. I don't remember if... Okay, I think I need a good overdrive to actually kill her. Which, okay, 2 Agasaur cannons is a good overdrive.
We're in a good position. Move in. Need Gatling.
Like, I like Mia as a character anyway, so I'd use her even if she didn't have that line, but that line is one of the best interactions. That's the one thing I wish, that there were affinity missions between multiple party members that aren't just, like, the main story ones. Like, I'd wanted to see... Like, yeah, Murderous and Arena are connected, but other than that, the only times you see other party members interact in affinity missions is when they're required ones for, like, story stuff. And I wanted to see, like, more of that between the other characters. It's like, I kind of have a rotating character I technically use as the 4th. Like, I started out with Alexa, for the Let's Play at least. I started with Alexa, then I moved to Hope, then... Okay, I ran out of overdrive, I'm probably dead. Then I moved to Hope, then I moved to Celica, and if I actually got Mia in the Let's Play, I'd probably go with her. Or just stick with Celica. This is bad, because she has her spike up right now.
This is more than my scout can take.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Now, the real question there is, have I actually beaten Pharsis in this file? Oh, she doesn't even have a segment, so I'm not sure. I think it should show up in the item list. Where do holofigures show up? It's not here. It's not materials. Do I have to go to the barracks to check? Okay. You know, worst case, I just fight her on foot with the foot builds, because I think that works. Just don't remember off the top of my head if... Alright, you know what? I don't know why I have Tatsu here. We can get rid of Tatsu for whatever we want. Actually, nah. No, I can't get rid of Shulkopan. Oh, yeah, duh. Forgot. Well, actually, I have to have beaten her, because I have her filed stuff. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I showed off the fact that Igrolith are planet busters in the video. I forgot that you actually needed to do it. I'm smart. Although, you know what? I'm gonna swap between Skell and Foot and try to beat her. Just like scale over or build up TP, build up GP, scale overdrive, get that far, then jump onto one of the little pod things inside the sphere and use that. So first off,
Starfall Blossom. Essence exchange.
that. Okay, good. TP wise,
I think it's time for a skill. I need Gatling. I need Gatling. Melee attacks next.
oh, you only do need to. Okay. I. Number slain 2. Okay, so I've killed it twice. I seem to remember one-shotting her at one point, which is bizarre because I clearly can't with this build. Like, unless I replace the... Hold on, do I have my opening art? Oh, first off, why are those on Agni and not a Gossera? Oh, I thought I froze the game for a second. So, custom weapon attack. Custom weapon attack on a Gossera instead of Agni. Ultrafauna. Ultrafauna. Then, this is all Ultrafauna Slayer, so... Do I have anything I can replace these with? Grav-Res. I mean, maybe the Grav-Res. She does attack more with gravity. It's worth a shot. If I built them, they must have been used for something. Res. Grav-Res. 20. Okay, I have enough for all those armor slots. Slots. So I think that's why I made them. I did think I had more opening art than it did, though. That was the wrong direction, Agni Gatling. Also, why did I even fast travel to here? Not even in the right place. I'm on the wrong side of the mountain range. Why did I go there? Did I just click on the wrong thing, or what? Probably significantly more efficient way to get this stuff. Oh, yeah, duh. Actual Visigel's in there. One where I won't aggro her. Ultra Diamond Pillium. I don't think that's the highest one of those, but stand out of Pharsis's range and auto-attack this thing to death. I should be okay. Honestly, I should be doing this during the night, but whatever. Okay, there. Well, died on the right hit to max that out. Then I've gotta go here and stay standing here while I fight her.
I'll distract them while you blast.
Yes! I wish I got the cockpit on a Agasora, but I'll take it on Agni too.
Agasora cannon! Lead Gatling!
There we go. This time my Agasora did large amounts of damage. It might have been a different appendage.
Vajra flail!
Because now I'm just freaking destroying her. Okay. This is the second highest level super boss. Telethia being is 99. This is the 97. So it's quote unquote the second strongest enemy. I think there are ones that are actually more difficult fight wise than this because, well, she does have that big regen, but
Move in! Agasora cannon!
she's similar amount of HP to Telethia, but is also attacks in a different way, basically. Yeah, now I'm only taking 1 damage from her gravity attacks as opposed to her ether attacks. And she has a lot more of the gravity. No, why am I falling? Why am I falling? Fly, 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 fly. Fly, you fool. See, all my Skell names in this file are Tolkien references, so that line actually makes sense. Besides the Ares 90. Although, this... Wow, I didn't even need ground for that. Okay. Why did I get her hollow figure that time? That's weird. Okay, well... There's the super boss fight I didn't do in the Let's Play because I was impatient. Yeah, that's all I got. I'm not sure. I'm gonna do one Xenoblade video this week, maybe the White Whale one. That's the only thing I can think of because I'm probably gonna do an X thing next. It's either gonna be the White Whale one or something about the Skell flight module and how that's not a plot hole, even though it might seem like it because Skells fly in the intro cutscene. I'm gonna go drink some tea with honey in it. See you guys in a few days, I guess. Thanks for coming out and watching. And now I can finally say the Let's Play is over, even though it's been literally 14 months since I started it. But this is the final thing I wanted to do. Wow.